Hello, guys. Welcome back to Affirmations. I want to thank my subscribers and any new subscribers that I have, as well as those who are swinging through. It is much appreciated. Do like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I post, okay? Also, check out the description box. There's information in there about how to get in contact with me, as well as how to find a therapist, as well as information about self harm. Okay. Again, I will never reach out to you if someone's doing that. No, that's not me. Okay. All right. Let me give you all some Palo Santo. Yes. Wishing everyone mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health. Yeah. I'm hoping you all had a great week. And as we say, if it was not a good week, what's one thing you can do to kind of help it be better? Okay. Let's see. And for those of you that are new, we always start off with our saying, death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Have you been feeding yourself fresh or rotten fruit? Always wanting to mind the self-talk that we do with ourselves, as well as what we speak out loud, as well as what we speak about others. It's okay to vent, but we want to make sure that we're not lying and being malicious on others, okay? Sometimes this can activate reap what you sow, okay? Also, for those of you that are new, we do tackle the topic of healing slave trauma, okay? A lot of our relationships were damaged in slavery. And again, one of the core beliefs and understanding in counseling is that if abuse has happened and it's never been addressed, it gets passed on, right? So a lot of these things have been passed on down to us, okay? So we will be using the DBT deck for clients and therapists, 101 mindful practices to manage distress, regulate emotions, and build better relationships, okay? We'll be using that. And the type of therapy this is called dialectical behavioral therapy. Dialectical behavior therapy. And this is for people dealing with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, and there's no other group that's had what we call complex, meaning multiple traumas, right, that need to be addressed. And also, too, in the description box, look at any decks as well as books that I'm recommending. One being Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joyce DeGruy. That kind of looks at a specific term just for our people, okay? All right. So let's see. Oh, let me show y'all my finger. So anyway, I live on the land, as many of you all know. And each season requires so different repairs and tasks, and it's an ongoing thing. And so summer is quite vicious with weeding and these types of things, keeping beds in order. Of course, I've slipped and neglected this year. So I said, okay, let me get out here. This is out of control. And normally we're supposed to wear gloves, right? But I've always been able to kind of know how to, pull weeds and do things. And sometimes because I don't want to get gloves, let me just hurry up and do it while I have the energy. Where I thought I'd do the same thing, but the weeds got totally out of control. And so this is what you get when you don't wear gloves. It looks like it hurts, but it doesn't. Okay, so we have a skin that's peeling. Yay! Okay, so yeah, need to wear our gloves. I said all that to say that. Hopefully you all are staying cool for the summer. Okay, let's see. We're going to randomly pick a card, okay, to see what we're going to discuss today. What is this? Okay, we got something called willingness. Most of the time, life does not allow our preferences. To be willing, you must practice openness and flexibility. You must be creative, and you must put your ego and self-righteousness aside. Where there is a willingness, there are many ways. Today, practice approaching life and situations with a willing attitude. Willingness, right? Wow, let's look at that one again. Most of life does not follow our preferences, right? Things we prefer and like, most of the time we're not able to have that. Yeah, and sometimes because that's not the natural order for us to always get our preferences. Some people demand their preferences and will do anything to have their preferences. But sometimes when you're doing that, you're having to engage in things and manipulation in order to get that, which is very toxic and unhealthy. And there are repercussions to that, right? That definitely, it can be a very stressful life trying to chase preferences, right? It says be willing to be, you must be willing, you have to practice openness and flexibility, right? Being flexible and open to things not being just perfect. And I think, again, we are people always connected to slavery, where we have had to learn how to be open and flexible. We rarely in this world have been allowed our preferences, and we adjust to that great with other groups. We're very flexible. The question is can we be open and willing and flexible with our own people, right? With ourselves, right? With those that have been given to us, that are support us. Or are we always looking elsewhere, right? Not willing to be open and flexible there. So we have to be creative. So sometimes with every negative, there's a positive. Sometimes you're given the things that you don't quite want. But when you have an open mind and you actually start really looking for positives, or sometimes it's not your preference, so you have to try new things and you find out that you actually like that, right? Or that you see the value in something, or you see the potential in something, or yourself or people, right? Putting ego aside. A lot of times preference has to do with ego, right? This doesn't look right. This isn't cool enough. This doesn't say I'm on a certain level, right? That's ego. Self-righteousness, right? Putting our self-righteousness aside. Now, this is a tricky one because self-righteousness is an issue, but also too, I think about standards. We are allowed and have a right to hold on to our standards. See, we deal with this, the opposite of self-righteousness. We're not allowed to have standards, right? You're being stuck up. So I'm going to say the opposite for us. We've been programmed to accept any and all and everything, right? And we're called self-righteous if we have a boundary. So for us, this is a little different, because self-righteousness has to do with just kind of looking down on people, and you're not justified to do that. Again, we have been forced to overlook people, again, that's kind of abusive, that's not healthy for us. And again, when we try to set boundaries, you may be called, oh, you're self-righteous. Okay, so we have to be aware of that. So it says today, practice approaching life and situations with a willing attitude. So we have to be open, right? Okay, that was a good one. Let's see. I'm going to do an affirmation. I'm kind of going through them a little quicker today. Lately, I've been a little shorter. Let's see. This particular deck I've had for a while. I don't have a title on it. I just kind of had a polka dot box and covered it up, so I don't have the name of this one. This is just a random affirmation deck. So let's see what we get. Okay. Let's see what we get. And then I may pull a stone as well. If you look at the videos at the very beginning, I used to pull just stones and would pull them and talk. And so those are kind of like affirmation stones. Okay, so do check out those videos. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to see if something's going to pop out for us. If not, I will randomly pull. Okay. Let's see, do 3 more times and we'll see 2, 3. Ah, there's one. Okay. Okay, a couple fell out. Interesting. It says, I am stronger than I may realize. I am stronger than I may realize. Yeah. A lot of times we see situations, we're like, oh, I can't handle this. And we end up realizing we're stronger than we realize. Yeah. And a lot of times our people have been put in positions to where we've had, our strength has had to be tested. Yeah. So you're stronger than you may realize. You know, having to take on challenges and be open, right? You have to be stronger when you don't get your preferences, right? And what did it say? Be flexible and open. Because sometimes being forced to be stronger, again, it is building up. There's different types of strengths that we work out: physical strength, mental strength, spiritual strength. It's building a lot of times all areas of strength, right? When we're forced to be stronger. Okay. And what is again, we always say for every negative, there's a positive. What is the positive out of this negative, right? Even if it's just, what have I learned? So I can pass it on to others so they each one teach one, right? This one says the universe is filled with endless opportunities for me, right? And again, we talk about how the wording in these, you have to kind of apply it to your spirituality, right? It says the universe is filled with endless opportunities for me. So I say the universe, the Most High, has created endless opportunities for me, right? And again, we talk about affirmations. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. So one of the things we're working on is maybe we want to say this one for this week. Depending on your spiritual beliefs, there are endless opportunities for me. There are endless opportunities for me, right? Law of attraction. Death and life is in the power of the tongue, right? If we speak negative, focus on negative, sometimes we draw that to us. If we speak more positive, focus on positive, we will draw that to us, okay? So let's try that affirmation for the week. There are endless opportunities for me. And it says, I have a voice and that voice matters. Yes, I have a voice and that voice matters. Do you feel like your voice matters? And if you don't feel like your voice matters, you know, we always talk about the role of slave and master. Are you giving your power over or your voice over to someone? And what is your fear of what would happen if you speak your mind and actually voice your opinion? Journal about that, right? Because again, be ye not unequally yoked. Anyone that truly loves you, cares for you, who's supposed to be around you, will respect and understand you have a human right to your voice and your opinion. Sometimes we are silencing ourselves because we want to be around people, places, things so bad. But that is not truly our calling or our group. And so we sacrifice the voice. Okay, so that's something we want to journal about if we find ourselves doing that, okay? And with that, I want to thank you all for joining me again. Please like, share, and subscribe. Come on, lady, get it together. It'll be greatly appreciated, okay? And again, check out the description box, okay? As well as I'm also doing, posting things on the community post with videos and different things. So check that out as well during the week. And I always end with our saying, everyone has a right to heal from trauma, okay? Without interference, without the opinion of others, okay? Even a race nation. And until next time.